Hello everyone, you're watching Sightline. Today in our studio we have Mr. Batbaatar Bayarmagnai, coordinator at the Dairy Asia Secretariat Office in Ulaanbaatar. Thank you for coming to our studio.
Thank you very much for your invitation.
So let's start our conversation with the introduction to the Dairy Asia partnership. So to our audience, how would you explain what Dairy Asia is?
Okay, thank you. And Dairy Asia is the multi-stakeholder partnership. It's initiated and established by the UNFAO in 2014. And our vision is to build the socially and environmentally responsible dairy sector that enhances the livelihoods and improves the nutrition, as well as contributes to the economic prosperity in Asia and the Pacific region. And currently we have 13 member countries. Our members are Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, China, India and Indonesia, Mongolia, Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka and Philippines, and Thailand and Vietnam. And our membership and partnership is voluntarily based. It's very special, I would say that. And we have also the knowledge partners because as the regional initiative and regional action network, we are cooperating very closely with the international organizations as our knowledge partners, like UNFAO or the GASL, the Global Agenda of the Sustainable Livestock, and International Dairy Federation and Dairy Sustainability Framework, or International Livestock Research Center, or at IFC and the Dairy Network, and so on. And mostly the dairy international organizations are our knowledge, the partners. They briefly introduces them. Yeah.
So Dairy Asia, you said, was established in 2014.
Yes.
But the Secretariat Office was established in Ulaanbaatar last year. So what was the reason for establishing the Secretariat Office in Mongolia out of the other countries in Asia? And also, what are the advantages of opening the Secretariat Office in Ulaanbaatar?
Yes, you're right. And Dairy Asia is the partnership. And the Dairy Asia should be strengthened more as the institutionally, right? So therefore, the Dairy Asia Secretariat Office has been established in Ulaanbaatar, so supported by the government of Mongolia and UNFAO with GASL, the Global Agenda of the Sustainable Livestock. And we have the important reasons why we are here in Ulaanbaatar, located in Ulaanbaatar, right? So first is, as we all know, Mongolia is the traditional livestock country. The country is over 70 million animals. And the people of Mongolia have very unique the culture and tradition of the preserving the milk, and actually the public awareness of milk in Mongolia is comparatively good, I would say that. And second thing is that the legal environment. Mongolia has the food law. According to the food law, the animal milk is defined as the strategic food. So therefore, the government of Mongolia is responsible for the supply and production and trade of the strategic food. So it has very good environment and the policy in Mongolia. And Mongolia has also the very friendly and the multilateral foreign policy with all the countries in the world.
Especially UN organizations.
Yes, you are right. They compare to the other countries, right? Especially in Asia, the Asian countries differ in the nationality or the religion or the culture or tradition. So when we locate in Ulaanbaatar, the Dairy Asia Secretariat, and then we will expand our initiative in the whole Asian region. So those are the main reasons why we are here in Ulaanbaatar, in Mongolia. So I would mention that the UN representative in Mongolia, the Dr. Vinod Ahuja, he is one of the key people who contributing a lot to the Dairy Asia development. So, thank you.
So yeah, so Mongolia is a nomadic country with a lot of cultures of preserving milk and making dairy products, and we have got this friendly legal environment, and also we have got this friendly relationship with other countries. So that's why the Dairy Asia Secretariat Office.
Yes, you're right.
resides in Ulaanbaatar.
Yes, and then the government of Mongolia has implemented the milk and meat, the first campaign in the last 4 years. So
that's right.
as a result of this campaign was also establishing of this regional Secretariat Office of Dairy Asia here in Ulaanbaatar.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So now I want to ask you, like, why this dairy platform, dairy partnership, should be in the should be in the continent of Asia. So are there any other countries like Dairy Europe or Dairy Africa? So what I've heard that like the 40% of all the dairy products and milk is produced in Asia. So what is the significance of having this platform in the Asian continent?
Yes, you're right. Asia, as we all know, that Asia is the largest continent, and about the 60% of world population is living in Asia, and the continent it accounts for about 40% of the world's milk production. So Asia should show some leadership in the dairy sector. So the Dairy Asia should be very active in the dairy world. I would say that there are several dairy international as well as the regional organizations and institutions in the world. So we always aim to cooperate with those initiatives and institutions. And another reason is that the diversity of the dairy sector in Asia and Pacific region is huge. I would say that in some countries they have the big cooperatives or the farmers, right, with the hundreds or thousands cows, or there's some smallholders with one buffalo or some few yaks or horses or goats and so on, right? So the diversity is huge. But when we think that there is the urban farming as well in Asia, so I would mention that, for example, in Singapore, the urban country, but the country has the dairy intensive farming, for example, right? Can you imagine that? So the Asia is so interesting and so large continent. So we are trying to cover all over the Asia and the Pacific region in the dairy sector. Yeah.
So good. Actually, if you haven't heard of this, and no one would believe that there is like the urban farming in Singapore. So is Singapore one of the member countries of the Eurasia?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
So what we will aim to have Singapore as a member country.
What other countries are you considering to like? So what other countries are you considering to recruit as members in the future?
Yeah, you're right. So therefore, we are going to organize the consultative meeting, the Asia Perspective, on coming the 7th October in 2021. So I would like to introduce the co-organizers, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia and Ministry of Food, Agriculture and Light Industry of Mongolia and UNFAO Representative Office. So we are jointly going to organize the consultative meeting. In this consultative meeting, we will introduce Dairy Asia's the vision and the perspective in the future, right? And then we are aiming to expand our membership in Northeast Asia and Central Asia, as well as in West Asia and Middle East. And our currently our members are mostly from the South and Southeast Asian region. So we are aiming to expand our membership to the Northeast Asia and Central Asia and so on. And thing is that on this consultative meeting, we have invited all embassies and international organizations, as well as the representative offices in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, and we will discuss about the Dairy Asia perspective and as well as the expansion to the mentioned regions. Yeah, and we will invite the Japan, Republic of Korea, and Democratic Republic of Korea, Kazakhstan, and Kuwait, and United Arab Emirates and Laos to the Dairy Asia as the members. Yeah, because the Mongolia is very active on the Northeast Asia and Central Asian region.
So you want to recruit other Eastern Asian countries and
Yes.
also the other Asian countries.
Yes, you're right.
And that will be on 7th of October, the consultative meeting?
7th of October at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic situation, the number of the participants are so limited, but yeah.
So like how many representatives from the countries would you in the meeting due to the limited
You're right.
seats?
The consultative meeting we are organizing is dedicated to the 6th anniversary of the Mongolia's accession to the United Nations.
Right.
So therefore, we are inviting all the embassies and the international organizations in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia.
Another very important event will be held tomorrow, which is the school milk program webinar. And what is the main goal of the school milk program webinar? What would you say?
Sharing knowledge and the practical experiences is one of our key functions here in Dairy Asia. So therefore, we are organizing this Dairy Asia webinar, the school milk programs. And in Asia and Pacific region, we have the member countries which have well-developed dairy sector as well as the successfully implementing the school milk programs. So in this webinar, we have invited the speakers from China, India, Thailand and Bangladesh, and the highlighted countries in terms of the school milk programs. And we will discuss about the success as well as the experiences from those countries, what those countries have achieved, right? And of course, the school milk programs can bring the benefits to the various of stakeholders, including the schools as well as the dairy sector and the local economies, right? So there are several countries. Those countries are also proposing the school milk programs as well, and Mongolia is the one of those countries. Nowadays, the Mongolia is proposing the school milk programs to implement. So it's also a good opportunity to Mongolia, the Mongolian people and Mongolian dairy sector to share, to learn some of the best experiences from the other Dairy Asia member countries. Right.
So during this webinar, the countries like China or India, they will share their good practices of implementing the school milk program. And the countries like Mongolia and other countries will learn and try to implement the same program. I
would like to introduce our co-organizers as well. And Ministry of Food, Agriculture and Light Industry of Mongolia and UNFAO Representative Office, and the IDF, the International Dairy Federation, are our co-organizers. And IDF, International Dairy Federation, has the school milk program knowledge hub. So therefore, actually the IDF is our knowledge partner as well. And the IDF is paying the key attention on the webinar. Therefore, the IDF General Director is attending and participating on the webinar and will give the presentation on the webinar. So it's on
this webinar is being held on the occasion of the World School Milk Day, which is on September 29th. So it's not just about only the Asian countries. Actually, like lots of countries from other continents will also join the webinar.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, and the World School Milk Day. Yeah, this international day is celebrated every year in the last Wednesday in the September. I remember that the first. I remember it. Yeah. The first World School Milk Day was celebrated in 2000, 21 years ago, right? And since that time, this event has become the annual event. Since that time, it has become the annual event. So they're promoted by the UNFAO and the dairy international organizations, as well as the regional initiatives. So the Dairy Asia is promoting the World School Milk Day. Therefore, we are organizing this webinar dedicated to the World School Milk Day. And around the world, over 40 countries are celebrating the World School Milk Day.
So now I would like to ask the school milk programs like Advantage in Mongolia, in our country. So Mongolia is a relatively young country with the 38% of the population being up to 80 years old. So what are the expected results of implementing school milk program in our country, especially in the secondary schools?
Yes, currently Mongolia is proposing the school milk programs. So the school milk programs can bring the benefits to the children's growth and the development. So they're very contributing to the public health as well as the nutrition. So therefore, the school milk program can influence on the Mongolian society as well as the Mongolian dairy sector. School milk program can stabilize the dairy market as well. So as we all know that Mongolia has the seasonal country. Yeah, the seasonal effects on the food and agriculture sector is so huge. I would say that in the winter time there is the milk deficit in the country, for example, right? So when the country can implement the school milk program, it will positively influence on the country's dairy market. And right, and another side is that in the local economies, right? The Mongolia is a large territorial country, but very few populated nation. But in local area, the people of people have the self-sufficient on the milk, I would say. But in urban area, yeah, the milk supply would be increased.
And which would positively impact the livelihood of the farmers and also the dairy companies.
Right. The school milk programs, the school milk programs can lead to strengthen the dairy value chain from the farm to table. So it will be positively influence
all the
on
stakeholders.
All the various of the stakeholders.
Thank you very much. And now let's talk about the future of Dairy Asia. So what kind of specific objectives do you have, and how do you see the scope of the platform expanding in the future?
We have the certain goals. They're set based on the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. So in order to achieve our goals, we are proposing the several initiatives as well as the activities in the near future. And I would mention some of our initiatives. And Dairy Asia Milk Talk, the podcasting we are preparing, and the Milk Asia Milk Walk, the movement, or Dairy Asia webinars or Dairy Asia dialogues, right? All those events we will organize regularly. And also, I would like to mention the initiative on the Asian Milk Week, dedicated to World Milk Day.
June 1st.
Right. Every year, the World Milk Day is celebrated in 1st June. So, as I mentioned earlier, Asia is the largest and most populous continent. So the continent should show some certain leadership. And we are promoting the World Milk Day, right? But we need to increase our contribution to the promotion of the World Milk Day. Therefore, we are proposing to celebrate the Asian Milk Week.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to our studio and also telling and talking us about the activities and the perspectives of Dairy Asia platform.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You've watched Sightline. Today our guest was Mr. Batbaatar Bayarmagnai, Coordinator at Dairy Asia office in Ulaanbaatar. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.